Serge Ibaka.
Yes.
He was a good guy.
Says who?
Okay.
Yeah, athletes, I think, if I can be real, this is what I say to my girlfriends about my experiences with the two. I've only dated 2 athletes, so I'm not gonna speak generally, but I do also, I'm friends with wives still. And I had learned a lot, because again, I'm an observer in the world. Mm-hmm. So I had learned a lot about what the women in the athletes' lives have, you know, what they felt and what the experience was, whether they would say it or not. But a lot of them would be vocal. But athletes, you guys have never, I won't say never, but very seldom were you challenged on being a good partner or a good brother or a good son or a good student.
How about this?
Or a good...
You say everything that you want to say, and I will correct if needed.
Okay.
So you have full...
Yes, I'm being careful because I'm talking to an athlete, and I don't want to offend you.
You're not. Trust me. You can't offend
or
me.
anyone else. But yeah, I think that you guys have relationally, you're stunted because a lot of people have appeased and placated you. Mm-hmm. And so you've gotten your way with women, with teachers, with sometimes pastors. You know what I mean?
Huh?
Because everyone's a fan, or nobody wants to be in the way of you making it, you know? And so women don't challenge a certain side of you relationally. And so in my experience, and again, that's mine and the experience of those who who I would speak with. In my experience, that was apparent, that just stunted emotionally, stunted. Like learning things, we're talking in 30s that maybe someone by 21 would have known. You know what I mean?
Like?
Relational things, like how to be honest, or I mean, so many things, but how to express.
No,
First off, I think that it's endearing to watch her in a feminine way kind of tiptoe around this conversation for fear of offending the host or anybody else. Second thing, when she says that athletes are emotionally stunted, anybody who is overvalued in society for anything, they may face less consequences for their actions, so they may not be held accountable for the things that they have done. Therefore, they don't need to learn some of the things that most average people within this life would need to learn. It's not learning how to be honest. Honesty doesn't take learning, but if you've not faced consequences for lying, then you just may lie more often to get your way. For example, I went to Penn State University, right? Big sports school, and I was a non-sports fan. I like to play sports, but I don't really like to watch sports. And it honestly blew my mind to watch how the athletes, specifically the football athletes on that campus, were treated like literal gods. It was something that I didn't know was a thing. I've watched football players on that campus go into apartment or house parties wearing goddamn uniform because that uniform would get the oohs and ahs from people around them. And that goes for whether or not they was on the A team, the B team, or the C team. Now, specifically, some of the C and the B team, some of these guys would participate in crimes on campus, going to apartments and beating up the entire party and shit like that. They would get slaps on the damn wrist. Would they learn their lessons? No. But a lot of these young men that never made it any farther within their football careers, a lot of them just ended up being losers because they never faced consequences for their actions, so they never got the opportunity to learn from them. Now, inversely, the same thing that she's talking about is very similar within beautiful ass women. They are not held to the same standards than average looking women, all right? We know this to be true, all right, guys? We sometimes forego our manhood and masculinity and our respect in order to get the vying eye of attention of a beautiful ass woman. And because of that, their bad behavior would receive less consequences, so they'd learn less from it. But just like that athlete will not get that contract, that beautiful woman may hit the wall one day. And there is not too many more things that is more depressing than being an athlete that was a has-been or a beautiful woman that was a has-been trying to regain the sense of value that was once given to them. That was not to say that there's not beautiful women nor athletes that have this sense of integrity or discipline. I mean, shit, to be an athlete, you have to have an immense sense of discipline and work ethic in order to get where you are. But nevertheless, I hear what she's saying. Let's just keep going.
Oh,
you know what I mean? How to be mature about
I would agree with you.
Just certain things that...
I will agree with you, but I think...
And it wasn't your focus, not to cut you out, but it wasn't y'all's focus, relationships. Couldn't have been your focus. You were paid to run the ball down the field or pass the, you know what I mean? And you were paid to do very specific things that anything else that required other things from you, really, your job had to take precedence over a lot of things. So it's not always your fault. It's not your fault at all, really.
No. I think as you're talking, there's certain things that's coming up. It's like, yo, you don't learn how to love because anybody will love you.
Yes. Bottom line.
Feel me?
Yes.
And it's like stepping away from the game and experiencing, we know how we are. I know and I don't even feel like I'm selling out. It's just the truth. It's like, bro, everybody, like I tell my kids all the time, I mean, my all-star kids, C1N.
Okay.
It's been a philanthropic give back for me in certain cases that, we provide football camps and things. And when I talk to kids and it's like, man, I got a girlfriend. I'm like, how old are you? 16. I said, what school you going to? Georgia. The University of Georgia? Yeah.
Right.
Is she going there with you? Nah, she can't get in. I said,
good. That shit about to be over, brother.
You want the good news or you want the bad news?
Right.
Like I've been living for a long time and I ain't never known nobody to be married to their high school sweetheart. That's not to say
keep on living.
Keep on living. Because it's not to say that you can't get married to your high school sweetheart.
Yeah, because some people do.
They do.
Yeah.
And that's real love. But more times than not.
Yeah, especially in athletics.
Yeah.
About that. It's hard to make
Have y'all ever seen Get Out?
Yeah. Yeah, there were some real things about that too. But yeah, I think you said it in a nutshell. Like you haven't learned how to love. That's a talent, a tool that you haven't needed or that you couldn't cultivate. So everything, that's what I couldn't pinpoint one thing for you when you asked me what things. I'm like, it's really all of it as it pertains to love.
It blissed you and it was like, hold on, what can I share? And what can I just
well, no, it was a lot of things. It was so many.
Yeah,
I just was like, I want to prioritize them and give you the best ones, but I'm like, really, it's a lot.
Carrie Hilson said something that I thought was interesting, and it's that it's not their fault. And I completely disagree with this. If you don't learn your significant other or the opposite sex, it will absolutely be your fault. Take Zion Williamson, for example. This man has built up enough discipline to get where he was, but is still squirting raw daddy in 304s with obvious mental illnesses. Nobody has sympathy for him within his situation because he's a grown-ass man making little kid decisions while always being injured. He's probably getting injured, deep stroking up into that BBL demon to the extent of what he is. And don't get me started on Travis Hunter. Prime examples of young men that are getting taken advantage of by these Lilith hyenas. As men, we always need to be responsible for our actions. I mean, shit, we don't have to be taught how to be honest. Just be honest. Have high integrity. Know what you're getting yourself into. Identify that gold-digging hyena and walk with her accordingly. But I'd be remiss not to talk about that we currently live in a community of women that will prioritize the athlete. When you know that these athletes are less incentivized to take you serious because at the point that you step out of line, there was a litany of other ones of you that are available to take up his request in lieu of the honest, moral, prudent gentleman that you continuously ignore. Carrie Hilson demonstrates herself very well, but I wonder how many good men she left by the wayside for these other men with thousands of options.
Serge Ibaka.
Yes.
He was a good guy.
Says who?
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding, Serge.
But it was like, y'all was a
But
thing.
he wasn't good to me. He probably feels like you feel. Like I could have been way better to her. Should have been. He probably, you know.
Can we keep it funky?
We'll see.
Say less.
Let's see. Go ahead. What you want to say?
First off, during that period of time, they were up as a team. That was a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
And so much so that if you look at that team roster now, you'd be like, he was on that team, man. He wasn't like this.
Facts.
But then like y'all were like black love and, you know, he was the strong, you know.
We looked good.
Look immaculate.
I would agree there.
What did that relationship teach you?
Ooh, leave quicker.
Yeah, you can't do that on my play.
I mean, that's not.
Why is always the dude?
You said what it taught me. I'm just giving you my.
Okay. Let's.
Because 10 months in, I should have.
You seen signs?
Yes.
Okay.
But I was believing, and I was, you know what I mean? I was wanting to not believe.
Let me ask this way.
Yeah.
If you could tell him how to love you the proper way, what would you have told him? What was about the process that, because I think that's important too, especially with individuals, right? And going back to the provider mentality. It's like, yo, we don't know what to ask. We just floating and going. But that don't mean that we don't need help. You see what I'm saying?
We tried. We did counseling. We were sitting with his pastor, and we did another counselor as well. Like we did couples, he did individual. I was doing individual. Like we tried it all.
How old was he?
Just was not going to change. He was much younger than me, 7 years younger than me. So I think I really would probably attribute everything to his age. Like if I'm really being honest, like he was mid-20s.
Oh, city boy, for sure.
Yeah, and his team was up.
For sure.
Okay. It was, you know, there were happenings and he deserved to live that. Like that goes back to like, I want what you want.
But
I don't want anything different than what you want. So if I would have told him how to love me better, it would have denied him the experience of being the man in the world and being on the winning team at the time and having the experiences that he clearly wanted to have. You know what I mean? I'm not going to deny you what you want. Have what you want. Just you may not have me and that, you know?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like you say, I want what you want. But what if the individual says, I want you
and that,
and just a dabble of that?
No.
Okay.
That doesn't work.
But you know, at that age, it's like, yo.
I know that. And so I can remove myself and have it. Like, enjoy it. It may have been the only time he could have. I don't know his life. I don't know where his life would have.
No, I speak for a lot of people.
She's trying to change him.
Like my dad would always tell me, he would end it abruptly, but just saying this, just keep on living, son. Just keep on living.
That part.
Now Carrie Hilson has gone yet another year of life, having wasted one with an athlete that sounds as if wanted multiple women. I don't know. I feel like Cam should be interviewing Survey at this point in order to get his side of the story. But if that was the case, then the man has the right to exercise his options. Nevertheless, it sounds like Carrie Hilson needs to follow her own advice about dating these damn athletes. Because now she's dating men that are younger, that are seeing her as still beautiful for a short time, not a long time, while she's trying to lock something down. Saying the same thing that a Tracy Ellis Ross is. Beautiful women only able to date younger because they can't be form fit inside of a man's kingdom. All right, guys, drop your comments down below. Want to hear your thoughts, feelings, opinions regarding what I went over with you guys here today. Do you agree with Carrie Hilson's statements? Do you think that she's projecting her own experiences into the advice that she's giving the listeners or to Cam Newton? And don't forget to join Male Self-Development Community. Link to it down below. Beam up, see the dope things that are in store, and I will see you guys soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high